So, hello, welcome back. We've talked before, and that was about your third book, and now we're on to your fourth. If you want to go ahead and introduce yourself.
I do. I am Jennifer Stegman, the author of the Starpath Saga series. And as she's mentioned, the last time we talked, my third book, The Awakening Across the Universe, was getting ready to release. It's been out now since June of last year. So now I'm working on book 4, and this is the second to last book of this series. It's almost done. I've got just a few finishing touches on my chapter, and then my sister is going to take it and write the last chapter of it because she's a little more emotionally inclined to do so, I feel. So I'm going to let her put her emotional touches on it. Release date for book 4. It's called The Journey. His Story Begins. Here's the cover for it. And the little tagline on the bottom says, Gastonly may have won the battle, but the final emotional war against darkness has just begun. Release date is May 6th of this year, now that it's 2026.
That's super exciting. That cover's beautiful, by the way.
I made that one myself, too, and I'm super proud of how it came out. I love it.
I saw you post it however long ago. I'm like, oh, it just adds to the excitement. I love it a lot, actually. Alrighty, so now we're going to jump into some of those questions that I mentioned before. My thing. So I'm also writing a series, and I don't know if it's same for you. For me, it feels a little different trying to jump into the later books. So since this is your fourth, quite a bit further than I am, how does it feel? Does it feel different than when you were published like the first book?
Yeah, it feels way different. Like every time I go to start a new book to this series after I finish the last one, I kind of feel a little lost as to how I'm going to start it. You know, it's like, okay, I finished that last book. That last book was a masterpiece. Now, how am I going to pick up from where it left off for this next one? And then I do get the idea of how to start it. And then once I get that idea, I run with it. And now it's like, since I'm almost done with it, now it just feels like, all right, I'm about to end this book and I'm about to start working on another one while my sister finishes this one. So, and that's going to be the same kind of thing because that other book I'm going to start writing is going to be the spin-off to this series. So I'm like, I've already got notes and stuff as to how I'm going to start it, which also kind of helps. So I'm not as lost.
I think that's one of the biggest things that I'm wrestling with is trying to figure out how to make sure everything matches up.
Yeah.
And I don't add in some extra detail to lore or whatever that doesn't coincide with the first.
Right. The one thing I did find that helps as I'm writing my book is like mentioning things that have happened in past books. So it kind of like loops back around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know, the fourth book, I can't wait till I'm at that part, but I just can't even fathom how I'm going to feel. Is the excitement level the same? Like, do you feel just as excited as you did? Like, when you were the first one, the excitement, is it the same kind of excitement?
This one, I feel like I'm a little more excited about releasing because this one doesn't have nearly as much, like, action, so to speak. It's more based on lore and backstory than it is, like, action or adventure like the last 3 books. The last 3 books each had like two different like battle scenes in each one, but this one kind of only has one and it doesn't last very long. I'm not going to go into spoilers, but you know, this one just has like a short little one, and then like I said, it's just more based on lore and backstory.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a little more excited to get this one out so that my readers that read the last 3 kind of get a little more filled in on the characters.
Oh yeah, and I'm sure, especially since there's been a buildup of the 3 books, being able to dive more into the lore of things hits a little differently than if you would have tried to do it like book 1.
Right. Yeah, and this one also took a lot more research because I had to research different things on like certain things on certain planets. Like I said, spoilers, don't want to go into it. So I just had to do a lot of research on many different things for this book, which will make sense once, the readers read it.
So again, I'm harping on the 4 books because that's, to me, it's a lot. So especially getting to your 4th book, what have these books taught you, like with each step that you've had to take?
Basically, it's taught me more on how to like take my time, slow down a little bit, do research on things I need to research for this book, and also like how to world build a little bit better than when I did in like the first 2 books. This one has a lot more world building and like I said, lore and backstory, and like there was some research that had to go into all that. So it just taught me how to basically slow down, take my time, and do my research on things that are needed for the book that I'm writing.
I feel that. Like, do you think your voice or your style of writing has changed since book 1? Like, do you think
Definitely, it has definitely improved significantly since book 1. Not only because of like now incorporating research into it, but also reading other authors, indie authors more specifically, reading their books and like fantasy novels. One in particular, I'm going to mention Noelle Parker. I read her book Silverbow, and the way that her writing style is like it reminded me a lot of like Wheel of Time meets Lord of the Rings. And so that kind of like also gave me inspiration on my writing style for this book 4. And I'm hoping that not only between books 1 and 4, but like with each book that I have put out in this series, that the readers are seeing that my writing style is improving with each book. One reader did mention that he noticed it and that he loves how he can see just how hard the author is working to improve their writing. And that made me feel really confident that my writing style has improved a lot. So I only want to continue to improve it and make it the best I can without, making it seem like I'm trying to copy other people when I'm not.
Have you ever thought about going back to book 1 and trying to revamp it now that you feel like you're a little bit better of a writer? Or like, what's done is done.
I have already revamped it like a 3rd time. And I feel like that's probably the last time I'm going to touch it because a friend of mine did go through and format it with a formatting program I don't own, so I wouldn't be able to make any changes anyway.
Okay. So is there anything that popped up with this release that surprised you, especially in comparison to your other releases?
With this one, yeah, like with book 4, I'm seeing that I have dipped more into like deeper subject matter that I had to research for this book. Whereas the last 3, it was more just like the world building I was researching on how to do. This one touches up on subjects like, I'll mention one, and I don't mind giving this one out, like astral projection. I had to do research on that as to how to like incorporate that in my story for the certain part of the book it's in, because it's part of the lore of the book.
This is more going into the like the writing process and the stuff around it. So when you're looking at your 4th, because you said it's coming out in March, right?
May.
Both ends. Did you, like, before you started writing, you're like, oh, I want this date? Or did you finish the book and then decide this is where I want?
It was more like I was looking at the calendar because I knew that, where I'm at in the fourth book, it's about to end, and I decided I didn't want to try and put in any more filler like I did with the third book, because I was trying to just not really drag it on, but try to like keep working on it until it was done. But with this one, I felt like I was just like, the characters are like, no, we're going to start ending it here soon. And so I started looking at the dates, and I was like, okay, let's pick a date that I'm off of work so I can actually like be home and like enjoy the release day. And Wednesdays are like my normal day off at work. So I was like, that's perfect. May 6th is a Wednesday. I'll put in for the day before that off. So I have 2 days off to like get the book uploaded, to give it time to like upload to KDP, because you know how Amazon is with their reviews. So I'm like, yeah, May 6th works for me. Yeah. And so that's how I went about picking the release day for it.
So, without spoiling it, of course, what do you hope, like when people get the book and they read it, how do you want them to feel when they finish it?
I want them to feel like there is a certain character in this book that they can relate with. Like, because this book is more centered around a character who, and I'll just say it, this book has a 9-year time jump between 3 and 4. So the character this book is centered around is a little bit older, and I want them to feel like, those that will realize the subject matter in this book, I want them to be able to relate to it.
I feel like that's the best answer you can give, is just wanting your people to connect and relate to the characters. Because especially when I was younger, it was the characters who got me into the books, me being able to see myself in them.
Same.
So because you're a mom and you work, what does your writing routine look like these days? When you are you able to like sit down and make sure that you have, I can write for an hour every day?
Yes. It's when my daughter is at school on my days off. I sit down in the morning after I send her off on the bus to school, and I'll take about 2 hours a week. I won't do it every day I'm off. I started doing that in the beginning, like in August, and I noticed I was starting to write way too much, way too fast. So I slowed it down to like writing at least once a week, about 2 to 2.5 hours. And then another day I'll sit down, and that'll just be my editing day. That takes like another 2 to 2.5 hours. And then after that, like lately I've been having about 3 days off. So one day will be a writing day. The next day will be the editing day. And then the day after that, I'll just be like brainstorming, taking down notes for like the next chapter or section that I'll be writing. And that's pretty much what my writing schedule looks like. Except these last 2 weeks, I haven't been doing any writing or editing because my daughter's been on winter break from school. So...
Which is fair.
Yeah.
I understand. So after you do all your writing, after you do your editing, when do you, how can you tell the story is ready to share? Like, when do you go like, oh, it's done, it's ready to be published, it's ready to send out to people?
It's right after I've done my 9th or 10th editing pass, because I've taken on the edit as you go approach rather than just write it all and then edit it all. I'd rather just like write a little bit, then edit as much as I've got, and then write a little bit more, go back and edit that from the beginning as well. Like, I always start from the beginning and edit up to where I've left off, in case I've missed anything in the earlier chapters, or I'm reading something and I go, that doesn't quite sound right, so I'll change that. It's after about my 9th or 10th editing pass that everything sounds good, no typos are there, and all the terms I wanted to use are in there, and it all just makes perfect sense. Then I'm like, okay, this is ready.
Okay, sorry about that.
No, you're good.
Okay, so what did we leave off on?
I think I was talking about the last question I remember answering was picking the release day.
Okay. 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 So again, so sorry about that. Again, that'll be taken out. But so again with book 4, did you try anything like especially new with this book, like structure, the way you do POV? Because I know you talked a lot about having to do different kinds of research and dive in a little differently into this book. Was there anything you tried with the structure or like the point of view? Did you try
Yeah.
with this one?
Like with book 2, a lot of readers probably noticed that I had the POV like pretty much everywhere. I didn't have it separated by chapter or anything. Whereas this one, I tried to separate it more by chapter. Like one character's POV is in one chapter, and then another one's POV starts another chapter. Like I tried to like separate it out a little bit just so it makes a little more sense.
Well, yeah. I think doing multiple POVs are a little tricky.
It can be, yeah.
I do think that chapters, especially for me as a reader, the separate chapters help a little bit.
Yeah, it's like I've got the chapter, and this book also has the return of chapter titles. Book 3, I didn't have chapter titles because I just couldn't be bothered to think of any titles for the chapters. But this one, I started having chapter titles come back, and then I started with the chapter title and then the character's POV that you're reading it in.
See, one of my favorite things, and I have desperately tried to emulate it, but I can't. So I just went with like character names as a chapter title. Is have you read Percy Jackson and the Olympians?
I haven't read it, but I have seen the movies.
Don't talk to me about the movies.
That's how I feel about the Lord of the Rings movies and the books.
See, my thing is I watched the movies before I read the book, so I have this love for the movies no matter what.
Same.
Then I started reading the books, and I was like, this doesn't exactly match.
Same thing. Like with the Lord of the Rings, the first one, the Fellowship of the Ring, they left one important detail out from the book in the movie, and I was like, why didn't they leave that in?
Like in my mind, like it would have been like some of the things that they take out of would just in general. I'm like that would have been so easy, even just as like a throwaway line, so that people who read the books like, oh, you paid attention.
Yeah,
that's like the whole time when I was watching like the Percy Jackson movie. I'm like, so no. The problem is the main character Logan Lerman. He was the perfect Percy Jackson. Just everything else was wrong, in my humble opinion.
Okay.
Lord of the Rings, I found a love for both the books and the movies. I've just found a way to separate them.
Yeah, same.
Which you kind of have to do with some of them.
Yep.
Alrighty, so this kind of goes into if you're like a plotter or a pantser. So did you plan a lot of this book, or did you just let the characters take you on the ride?
I kind of outlined like most of it first, and then when I sat down to write it, that's when like I did follow along with the outline I had, but there were some parts that were added into it that I later had to incorporate into my outline notes and then my my handwritten notes, because like most other authors out there, we don't have just one copy of our notes for our books. I've got like 4.
Oh, I've never once related more to there's this meme and like, oh yeah, we as authors are organized, but then like the final, it's like this is like final draft copy.
Yeah.
Like, yep.
So yeah, I'm more of a plotter than I am a pantser.
See, I'm a pantser who wants to be a plotter, so I make the plot, but then it goes away.
Because the characters take over.
Yep. Like, oh, this sounds cool, but it's not. Anyways,
that's not happening.
It's not how it goes. My thing is I always plan the end. Like I know what the end goal is, and then everything else I try to plan up to it. But as long as I get to the end, that's
yeah,
it works out. Is there a part of the writing process that you enjoy the most? Like, do you enjoy the plotting, or would you rather?
Yeah, I do enjoy the plotting a lot because, like I said, I'll outline my notes, like what I'm going to write about next in the book in my outline. And then when I go to sit down, I'll like refer to my notes and be like, okay, this is what I'm doing here. This is what's happening now. Okay, I get this. And then sometimes the characters will take over and help me like write that part out. If I get stuck on a certain thing, they'll be like, no, it happens this way. And I'm like, oh, okay, got it. Yeah.
Oh wait, this is different. Okay.
Yeah.
But that is the fun of writing, I feel. Because I mean, you're online. I see you posting like crazy, and I think it's amazing. You're hustling, and it's fantastic. There's a whole lot of stuff happening about AI and people writing books with AI, and I'm having such a hard time fathoming that because I'm like, that takes all the fun.
That's not writing a book. That's just putting your story into AI, having it write it, and then you're just copy pasting, pretty much.
It loses the fun and the charm
and the authenticity.
Yeah, and I don't understand. I guess for me, I'm like, I'm not trying to, as much as I'd love it to be a career. That's the money is not the focus.
No,
I just like writing. I just like the storytelling.
Me too. Like, yeah, one day maybe I would love for this to be a full-time career. And right now, with the success I've seen of all the Stuff Your Kindle events I've been in 2025, like I'm getting my name out there quite a bit. I'm even in one today as we speak. But yeah, just no, I don't like it when people use AI to do their work for them. That just takes, like you said, takes the fun out of it, and that's not authentic. Like you got to use your imagination when you're writing, not a robot.
There's someone who wrote a book and they used it, so it's like a woman falling in love with AI, and they used AI to write the AI chapters.
No.
You're justifying that in a way that still doesn't work for most
Yeah.
Okay. So now that we've spoken about AI, and to do this without spoiling, is there a character in your books that have kind of stuck with you the longest? Maybe not even a favorite character, but someone that you've written that's kind of stuck.
Yeah, it's the dragon companion. She's like, because dragons in general are just my favorite mythological creature. So, just writing her into these books in this series, like she stuck with me a lot. And especially when I was writing book 3, I really started feeling myself get attached to my main male character in that book. Because, like, there was a point I was planning to him, and that was starting to upset me. And I was like, I can't do that. So, like, nope.
Well, I mean, hey, look, that's how Steve stayed alive in Stranger Things. They liked him too.
I couldn't do that to, this one character that this next book I'm working on is centered around. I was like, I can't do that to them, so I'm not gonna.
We're gonna be nice.
Yeah. Plus, I was thinking about how I would be so emotional writing that part, and I was like, I don't think I'm gonna do that to myself either.
I think that's one of the harder part about writing books. You get so attached to these characters, and then when it comes time to be like, nah, it's hard to do it.
Yeah, I'm just like, maybe another way, but I'm not doing that.
Maybe not today. Maybe
later. Yeah, not today.
Maybe later. It might have to, like, one of my characters, it might have to turn into those did he die? Maybe not.
Yeah, like what happened?
Okay, so I'm sure you've heard about, like, when people say self-inserts?
Yes.
Like when it's the author self-inserting? This isn't that, but it's along that veins. Do you feel like, are there any themes in your book that kind of reflect stuff in your life as well?
Oh, yes, very much so. Especially in this current book that I'm working on, book 4, definitely has a major theme that I'm kind of writing from experience on, but like I'm trying not to really self-insert so much, like just like writing about it, but not in my perspective.
Yeah. I'm trying to understand. Again, it's that relatively being able to relate to people, and a lot of that is your own experiences.
Yep.
Um. So we already spoke about one character that has really stuck out to you. Are there any characters that you feel like they grew through the series alongside you?
Definitely. And it's the side character that I'm about to start the spin-off series about.
Mm, awesome. And we already I have another question, but that you've already kind of answered that within your answer. Okay, so have you been to a lot of like book fairs and book events?
No, haven't been able to afford to go to them lately, but
Mm.
hopefully this year, within the next few months, I will be financially able to, because I would love to go to like a book fair as like an author even, and have like my own little table and like my books spread out on the table and like selling them in person to people. I would love to do that.
Have you been able to do any of those events as an author?
No, because I haven't financially been able to. Because, money's been tight, but
Yeah.
hopefully this year, like I said, this year, hopefully I will be a little more financially able to do that. Like I'm still even trying to get the merch that I've designed for my series, just so I can like send some like PR packages out to my ARC readers or to anyone that buys a signed book from me.
That does bring up another question because there's been. Are you on the KU, the Kindle Unlimited?
My series is not, but I do have other books that are.
Um, I know there's been some drama around KU because of the
Exclusivity.
that, and there's also like now this AI feature.
Oh, and the digital rights management thing now, where they can where readers can buy the ebook and then also download it as either an EPUB or a PDF. And I was going to let my books have that, but I decided, no, I don't want to chance them putting it up on a different website for free and then it get pirated that way. So I went ahead and turned on yes, put DRM on all my ebooks.
Well, yeah, it's like I found one of mine in like on like a Russian website. I'm like, that is so bizarre.
I've been checking mine, and thankfully none of mine have been put up on any of those sites yet, not even on Ocean PDF or whatever it's called. So hopefully me turning on the DRM rights will actually like prevent that from happening.
Fingers crossed, but people find a way.
I know.
And then you have
But
like so many people like you have so many people trying to justify pirating copies of books. I'm like, well,
yeah, there was one person that's like, oh, well, why can't I just get it for free? Why do you authors need to make money off of it? It's like, because we poured our heart and souls into this book. Why wouldn't we want to make a little bit of money off of it?
and beyond that, there is also money involved a lot of
Right.
the times. Whether it's for if you want to pay an outside editor, if you need someone to make the cover for you, or if you need to pay for any marketing, there's also a lot of people putting their money into it.
Mm-hmm.
Only fair if they get compensated. It's like any other labor that people. It's the whole entertainment industry. You
Yep.
pay for movies usually, right?
Yeah.
Or you're supposed to. So when you are able to go and be a part of those book fairs where you're an author at the event, Have you thought about like how you want your setup to be, like how you're going to promote yourself at those places, or is that just when it happens?
I'll probably cross that bridge when I get there. 'Cause right now, I just have the whole get this next book finished and ready by release day and just get it out there to the ARC readers and then get it up for pre order and then release it.
Next steps.
Yep.
And so these are some more indie specific questions. Did you originally want to go traditional, or have you always wanted to be self-published?
I always wanted to have full control. So being an indie author has been the best choice I've made. Because I've also heard a lot of horror stories about going traditionally published. And don't get me wrong, there are some good publishers out there, but there's also a lot of scummy ones. So I don't want to like give my books to a publisher just so they can be like, oh, well, we don't like this, you need to change that. And then that wouldn't feel like the authentic story to me. So I feel that just being self-published is the best way to go.
One comment I did want to make about like the traditional publishers is a lot of them don't do as much as you would think they did.
Right.
Like a lot of the marketing's still on the author. Like at most they provide like the editing services, but a lot of it's still on the author to go try and do those things.
Yeah.
So like one, like, is it worth it if you're still doing that much work? And then they still also own a part of your stuff.
Yeah. Whereas I like to have full control, so that's why I decided nope, not going traditionally published.
we're gonna go self-published. So you're on your fourth book. What advice would you give writers when they're working? What advice would you give new writers?
Like anyone that's starting out fresh, just do it. Like your first draft, your first book is never going to be perfect. Take it from me. When I started writing book 1 of my series, I went into it just writing it, no editing, no nothing, just wrote it and then released it. And then my sister looked it over and was like, what did you do? So I say, you know, if you're going to write a book, just do it. But make sure that you are also going over it, editing it, making any changes that you aren't happy with, taking out any typos, you know, just make sure you're going over it and polishing it up, so to speak, so that when you are ready to release it, it's not like the first draft that you're putting out there into the world. It's not going to be perfect. It never will be perfect, but get it good enough.
Yeah, that's fair advice.
That's almost like the question that I answered on Threads when someone was like, authors, how long or short do you make your chapters? Like, how long is too long? How short is too short? And my answer was perfect. I said, as an author, you make your chapters as short or as long as you want. You can make it a 1-page chapter. You can make it a 5-page chapter. You can make it a 15-page chapter. You take it as long or as short as you want. And someone else said, this is the perfect answer.
Well, yeah, I think one of the shortest chapters that kind of hit me the most, and say what you want about the Twilight series. In New Moon, like those 3 chapters, there's like, it was all, those are the chapters, September. The next page, October, and there's nothing to that chapter, just to reiterate her depression. There was nothing to those chapters, but it hit its mark.
Yeah.
I think just have the chapters do what you need them to do, and then you're good.
Yeah, make them as long or as short as you want. It's up to you. You're the writer. You do what you want with them.
I think too many people are caught up on word count.
Oh, yeah.
To be honest.
And as I'm probably the oddball out here when it comes to that, but when I also see on Threads, what was your word count for today? I go, I don't go by word count. I go by time spent on it. So I would be like, okay, I spent 2 hours today. Good enough for me.
That's good. Yeah. Yeah. Is that
Hi.
what you think? It's like I was asleep for 5 minutes. Yeah. So many arguments I've gone into just about how many words need to be in like each chapter in a book. I'm like, well, doesn't matter, dude. Especially if you're self-publishing, it actually doesn't matter.
Right.
So, okay, so has there been a book that you've like kind of read alongside writing your fourth that has kind of helped influence? Well, you've spoken about that one, right? The
Silver Bow, and I read that last year. I arc read it for Noel Parker, and I was kind of actually reading that while I was taking a break from writing 3 and 4, so I was reading it throughout summer break. This time, I've started reading a book called A Curse in Darkness by Shirley Gray. It's another indie author, and it's a paranormal fantasy romance book. And it's pretty good so far, and I feel like it's also kind of influencing me for like ideas of how to go about writing like the next book I'm going to start writing here soon, which is book 1 of the spin-off series called From the Ashes.
Love that title.
Well, that's the series title. The first book to it is called Phoenix Rising,
which are also fantastic. So how do you celebrate your book launches?
Well, see, with book 3, I tried to do a TikTok live book release. Only that failed. Not a lot of people showed up, and I think that's also because I don't go live very often on TikTok. But there was a few people that came, and I showed off my books. I was like, hey, this is like book 1 and 2, and then here's book 3. This is just released today, and I was talking about it, and like maybe up to 10 people showed up total. And then by the end of it, there was like nobody watching. I was like, I'm not doing this again.
This is not enough. This is not it.
It didn't work, but this time I think I'm just gonna like release it, and then I'm gonna probably just celebrate with my people in my Discord, including you.
I don't know if I'd say 10 people is failing. I will definitely be there celebrating with you, but also TikTok is just so full of people going live at all points of the time. So even if, because you go through some of them, and then some of them are book launches, some of them are like blind dates with a book. It's like there's just so many of them.
Yeah.
That really get people to actually stop and stay is the hard part. And like I go on there just to like try to support authors that are on there. But it's like so this fourth book, you have another book coming after this one, right? For this series? Or
yeah, it's book 5. I've already got a title and a cover for it. The 5th book, it's going to be the last installment to the series because it's going to be like the closing of the chapter, so to speak. Mm-hmm. And that one's called The Last Rite, Her Redemption. Ooh. I think I have the cover for it somewhere. Let me see if I do. 1 second. I have it on my phone, but let me see. I think I have it right here. Okay. There's book 5's cover.
I like that a lot.
The mirror is basically a reflection of like a broken relationship, so to speak. Mm. So, and the tagline on it is, she survived the tyrant's cage only to face the silence of the bond she was denied. So this one's going to be a little more, it'll start off a little sad, but I'm going to try and like pick it up and make it a little more cheerful. But I'll cross that bridge when I get there.
Oh,
I do have some notes for it already written, but that book's not releasing till 2027 because I'll be working on book 1 of From the Ashes, which is this book, Phoenix Rising. So that'll be in between 4 and 5.
I do like your covers a lot.
I've been experimenting in Canva on making them, not the AI portion of it. I know Canva's got AI options, but I don't mess with that. So,
but I feel like everything you use to try to be creative now has.
Oh, and then the tagline on that book is "There's life after death. Just ask the spiritual guiders." So, yeah.
That was funny too. Well,
Now here's all 4 of my books to my series. You got The Princess of Lunastra, Book 1, The Dark New World, Book 2, The Awakening Across the Universe, Book 3. All 3 of those are out now. And then Book 4, The Journey His Story Begins, releases May 6th.
May 6th. We gotta remember that, Ajax. That is, I mean, again, I love the covers. I love the titles. You definitely put in a good chunk of thought into everything.
I try to.
So, I mean, we've covered a good chunk, I feel.
I feel we have too.
Without any spoilers.
Yeah.
Except for there's a character that was supposed to die that didn't.
Yeah, but we didn't mention who.
They will never know.
No, not until they read.
They know when they read. Did you say his name?
No.
So I don't know if they'll ever know if that was the character that was supposed to go. And then you decided you liked him too much. Well, thank you. This was really fun.
You're welcome.